Hurricane Helene has brought tragedy in all sorts of ways, and unfortunately that also includes legally. Today, Layla Rogers and I, Tiffany Weber, we're both attorneys at Thomas & Weber, we break down the types of things that Legal Aid of North Carolina is going to be willing to help people with, including volunteer attorneys like myself, to try to help these survivors of the hurricane move forward and get the legal answers they need for complicated matters. Layla, not so fun topic today. We're talking again about the upcoming legal effects of the hurricane in Western North Carolina. And as we know, a lot of people have lost their property or the structures. You know, they didn't necessarily lose the land, but they lost the structures on the land and everything inside it. So I think, you know, we're already having people ask, and we're not even a week out of what do I do about XYZ. So the information is needed, though sad. So today we're going to spend some time talking about kind of the next 6 months to a year of the types of legal things that the people impacted by the storm need to look out for. I want to say before we get into those, this is not a, hey, call us and pay us to do this type thing. Legal Aid of North Carolina has resources set up, attorneys volunteering pro bono, including attorneys at our firm volunteering pro bono, meaning free if you're not familiar with the term, to help people with this stuff at no cost to them from the attorney at least. There might be like application fees through agencies or whatever, but the attorney's services will be free to them. So this is not a ploy to get clients at all. This, just know that there are resources available to you. Legal Aid of North Carolina is all over it already. But one of the things that comes to mind is replacement of documents that haven't been recorded with the Register of Deeds, like estate plans. So, you know, like Layla, talk us through just like the components, like the types of things that might need to be replaced.
Right. Well, first off, I'd want to say that I think it's wonderful that Legal Aid is providing this service.
Yeah.
And I myself have just been at a loss trying to figure out, you know, what is it that I could do to make an impact for these folks. And so I will definitely be working on doing replacement estate planning documents for folks that are going to be signing up through the Legal Aid system.
Yeah.
So, you know, one would think when homes are lost, that documents are lost, wills, trusts, healthcare power of attorneys, durable power of attorneys, living wills, all of these estate planning documents. And so, you know, working with these clients to help them replace those documents is going to be a great help.
Yeah. And, you know, the originals are super important. I mean, I know it's good that people keep backups digitally. And there are some some complicated, difficult ways to try to prove that a copy is real. And this is the final thing, but it's not easy. So if you have a way to get that document replaced in original, then that's the preferred method to make it easier on folks down the road. But when it comes to like a durable power of attorney, I don't know. I know about, you know, complicated ways for wills, but I don't really know anyone that accepts, you know, copies of durable powers of attorney that haven't been recorded. So it's going to be important, you know, not just for the after you die documents, you know, your will, your trust, but the ones while you're living, you know, your financial powers of attorney, especially like the most vulnerable in our society that have, you know, that are struggling with health issues and they can't get out and do things, and they need to appoint someone to go handle affairs for them. If that document's gone, then it's going to be really difficult to allow someone to step in and help them. So
Right.
Those are kind of like, you know, people don't like to think of that as like an urgent matter, but it will be. we're less than a week out. It is not the thing that needs to be on your to-do list right now.
Right.
But
I mean, unless, you have elderly
yes, that's
family
a good point.
members who, are really going to need some assistance in getting their affairs together right now.
Yeah. Or need healthcare power of attorney right now.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, there may be some situations where it is an urgent need.
Yeah, that is a good point. But I mean, it's definitely like, this is on the horizon of something that will be needed. Another one that I really don't want anyone to have to think about, but unfortunately is reality, is foreclosure and foreclosure avoidance. And I don't know, I'm not aware of, and I have not, to be fair, I haven't studied this extensively, but I'm not aware of, in the event of like a natural disaster where FEMA has to come in, if there becomes some like government decree that you get relief on your mortgage. Like with COVID, that wasn't immediate. That wasn't like a triggered, now we know that you're going to have relief, but there was something created for that effect. I don't know if that will apply to this situation. So, when you're at a point where you have to start making calls and doing the administrative stuff again, one of the things that will need to be on a checklist is, if you have a mortgage, to contact your mortgage lender. At minimum, to find out, do you have any leeway? Do you have any relief available? Like if you can't make your payment on October 1st because your house got washed away and you lost everything, what's the timeline on foreclosure? Like, are they going to give you a break for something?
Right. And at that point, I mean, if the structure has been washed away off the property and the loan amount is far exceeding the value of the property, I mean, that is something that, you would want to get the lender in the loop on and see what type of relief that they may be able to provide.
Yeah. I mean, you've got people that probably have lived there their whole lives and had a ton of equity in the property and owned it free and clear, but then took out an equity line or something, or these, the people that move in and build these multi-million-dollar homes and have a large mortgage on it, and now there's nothing but mud. That's all, unfortunately, very real stuff. And while I would like to think that these big institutions who are profitable could offer relief, there's no guarantee that they will. So the only way to know for sure is to contact your mortgage lender. That would be something that I would encourage people to do really quickly.
Property disputes.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So now that, anything recognizable in some of these areas has been washed away, determining property lines, what property belongs to who, and there will likely be a large influx of surveys in the area just to, resolve some of these issues, but I'm sure that's going to come up. Yeah,
and it's, you had mentioned before, the iron pins are gone in a lot of cases. They don't go to the core of the earth, Right. So if the rebar is gone, then there's nothing to orient to. Now, of course, math is math, but there are anchor points, essentially, that these surveyors go off of to locate your starting and ending, your beginning point for a meets and bounds legal description. So with those things being gone, there's going to be a significant undertaking to figure out whose property is whose. And, in some of the legal descriptions that, mountain areas, it's not like they're getting surveys all the time. And this could be in the family for generations, and their landmarks are the white oak to the big rock to the, those were legally binding legal descriptions at that time. So now how do you determine what is actually yours? So unfortunately, the reality is that at some point there will be disputes over property lines. I hope with all of the devastation that is a long time from now, but it's certainly something that's going to come up. Just hearing surveyors talk about the undertaking that this will be to redefine whose is whose. It's a big, big project. I mean, like multiple years worth of work in these areas. Now, we talked about surveys, we talked about foreclosure, we talked about the replacement of documents. There was one more thing that
And I think going back to the replacement of estate documents, there, because of just the loss of life, there will be an increase in estates filed, and folks potentially needing help with that as well.
Yeah. So the filing the estates, and then also if you're on the receiving end of that estate, what do you do? If your parents had moved to the mountains and did not survive the hurricane, and now you have property there, what do you do with that? All of those things, it's really all connected. It's just an incredibly layered, devastating situation that, they've got enough on their plate. And then it's just completely heartbreaking to know that this is coming.
Right. But the fact that legal aid is there to assist is huge.
Yeah.
And so, all of these issues, going to legal aid first is probably their best bet to get on a path to the answers they need.
Yeah, one for reducing costs, but also scam avoidance. It's horrific, but there are scammers that are going to come out of they already are. They're impersonating the missing and asking for money. It's awful. Oh. So they're going to do the same thing when it comes to legal issues. There might be people that tell you they can keep you out of foreclosure, or, that they can do something for you to simplify things, but either they're not licensed attorneys or they actually have no right to do the thing that they're telling you they will do, and in fact will not do. So it's important, go to, the trusted agencies like legal aid to get to where you need to go. Or, if you're someone that has a long-standing relationship with an attorney that you know and trust, and you're going to do it that way. But I would say not an unknown entity. If someone's approaching you, I think the biggest scam or red flag for a scam is if someone's coming to you telling you they will do something for you, because we can't do that as attorneys.
Right.
We can't see someone on the side of the road and be like, I can take care of that for you. Like, they got to come our way.
Right. Red flag.
Yes. So if you are approached by an individual or a company saying, I will take care, like, we got this, just be wary. And, starting with legal aid, like you said, is a really good way to ward off scams, and then in most cases, no cost to you, get some of these things taken care of. So hopefully as people need this information, they're able to find it and get the help that they need to move forward.